G'day, welcome back to Rip's Garage. Today we're going to be setting up the MST welder, the BossWeld 185. So if you know how to set up a welder or you don't want to watch this one, feel free to jump ahead to the next episode. I believe it's going to be episode 10 where we cut the rust out and start repairing it. But if you're interested, then enjoy. And also apologies for the background noise. There's a lot of dogs, neighbours, kids and stuff in the video, so apologies for that. Alright, so it's time to set up the welder. Grab the big wire. This is the first time I'm doing it, so we'll see how easy it is. It seems pretty simple from the instructions, but this will give you a good idea of how easy it is for an amateur like me to put something like this together and use it. Okay, so we unwrap the wire package, open the side door, remove the spool. Which way does it go? Just unspool this. So the wire's got to go on that way. I don't know if this is right. This doesn't look like the right sort of wire for mine. Remove the spool hub nut and place spool of wire on spool hub. Wire to roll from under spool into wire feed. This does not look like the right sort of wire. Alright, well there you go. Once again, Bunnings. I asked them which sort of wire I need for the welder I bought at their shop. This is what they sold me, and it's not the right one. I think I'll return this, and if they don't have the right one, I'll go back to where I got the gas bottle because those guys were great. Alright, so these are the small reels that I got. The guy said fit the machine. As you can see, it's a big bobbin and it's got this sort of little tab there that sticks on the spool. These are the bigger reels down here. That's 0.8, which I need. Grab the last one. I'm just going to double check that it fits. Alright, that's it. Help if it's a cut off. There we go. Perfect, so that's the one. Alright, what a drama. We're finally here. So, I've got the right spool of welding wire. I'm going to open the cover. Pull that off, the spool nut, or I believe that's what they call it. Now this is 0.8 wire. So we unwrap it first. Pretty damn heavy, I think it's 4.5 kilos of wire. Okay, now it is going to run down that way, so we want to put it like this. Now the spool's got, the bobbin's got a bit of a peg there, so you want to make sure that this hole lines up with the peg. And that does. So we put the nut back on the bobbin, on the spool, sorry. You want it to be relatively tight, but you don't want to crack it, it's just plastic. Alright, so once that's done, we loosen this here a bit, because the wire is going to come down underneath and feed through here. So we loosen that up, and we want to take this cover off. And this is I believe it's called the drive roller. Let me double check. Yep, drive roller. So there's a couple of different types, and they're a keyed roller. So you want to make sure each one's got 2 grooves in it. I'll show you the spare. This is the spare one. And it's a little bit different to the one that's currently on there. It's got these, see if that'll focus. It's got these sort of grooves that are serrated, and that's for the gasless wire. Okay, but the ones that we've got there now installed are smooth. They don't have these serrations. And one side is, see if that'll focus, 0.9, and the other side is 0.8. Same with that one there. So we'll put the spare away. Now what we've got to do is get the wire. I'll get some clips. We get the wire and we feed it through. And what we want to make sure is it's going to the right side of the drive roller. This here says 0.9 and this is 0.8 wire. It's going through to the other side, which is 0.8, so we know we're good. Now we want to push it through and it should feed through. So I wonder if there's something we've got to do. So take the end of the wire and feed it onto the guide tube until it passes the inlet tube and out of the Euro connection. Okay. And then put down the wire tensioning arm, this thing, and turn the wire feed tensioning knob to gently. Okay, I know what we're doing wrong. So this needs to be like that. Okay, so now we can feed it into, I'm guessing this is what they call the Euro connection. And it's come out the other side here. Can you see that? You can't, but my hand's there, I'm grabbing onto it. So we make sure it's nicely inside the groove in the roller. Drop that down, lift that up, and tension it down. And to gently tighten. Okay, so we don't want it too tight. What I might do is actually feed it through a little bit more, just so we've got a bit more to play with. There you go, that's about 3 to 5 centimeters. Lock it back up and tension it down, and we'll play around with that once it's all up and running. Alright, so next step, we get our nozzle done. So there's the MIG attachment. Pull it out of its packaging. Alright. Now attach the Euro Connect MIG torch to the machine, feeding the wire into the liner. Alright, so that there must be the Euro connection. And that big one there is... yeah, the big one there is where the wire goes. So So I'll spin this around so you can see it a bit better. Alright, you can see that. So we feed the wire down into there, pop it in, line up the pins, and there we go. That's snug. All the pins are in, snugged up. Alright, so next step is to take the tip off, and that just slides off. You just sort of pull it, and then we pull this tip out here. And the pack actually, the kit, I'll just put that down. The kit comes with a spare nozzle, a spare holder for the nozzle and the tip. So it's got both of those, and it comes with 4 tips. And they're all marked down on there. So you've got a 0.8, another 0.9, 0.8, and 0.9. So it looks like 2 of each, plus whatever's in the gun. We're actually going to have to make sure that that's a 0.8. Yep, that's a 0.8. So that's what we're using. So we'll pull that off with the special tool they supply. There we go, that comes in the kit as well. That's easy. And once that's out, we've got it hooked up to power, so we just turn it on. Might be a switch at the back, yep. There we go, you can hear the fan running. Indications on. Might release the tension slightly. There we go. Hey, there it comes. All right, beautiful. So, first thing we do is we pop the tip back on. Screw side first. We give that a good tighten up. Not too tight, because they're just copper and brass threads, I think. And then we slide the nozzle over. And just push that down so it's seated. There we go, that's done. Alright, what's next? Okie dokie. Alright, so you saw it took a little while for it to shut down after I flicked the switch, so it must have some pretty big capacitors or something in there. So if you ever do pull this apart, which you're warned against, just watch out, because it seems like it carries, like it holds a lot of current in there, even after it's been switched off. Alright, so we've done all that. We've put the tip back on. Remove liner, retaining nut from Eurotorch. No, I don't think we need to do all that. We don't need to replace the liner. So that's it. Now we just have to hook the gas up. So let's see how to hook the gas up. Here we go. So it looks pretty simple. Looks like you just fit the gas regulator to your bottle, and that comes in the kit. You've got a hose which you fit to it, and then at the back of the machine there is a fitting for that hose. So we'll give that a go. So we don't need this open anymore. I'll spin that around for you. Alright, so that's the back of the machine there, and that's your gas line in. So let's get this regulator. So there's the regulator. It's a dual stage reg. That goes into the bottle. I believe that's a T10 fitting it's called. And then that screws onto your gas line, and they give you a couple of adapters. So let's see what we've got. It looks like a simple barbed fitting with some O-rings. And the gas line itself, okay, it would, so this would be a barbed end for this end, and that would actually screw straight onto the regulator. So that comes, oops, that comes with a hose clamp. Pop the hose clamp on. Whack it on this end. We'll tighten that up in a bit. And this end goes onto our regulator. Now we'll fit that on in a sec. First we'll put the regulator onto the bottle. Jesus, I wish I had more space. Regulator's still good, not broken. Alright. Not right. Okay. Now, let's see, I'll just move the camera a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Alright. So, pull that cap out of the bottle. Get your reg. Now that is a right hand thread, I believe. No, left hand thread. No, yeah, right hand thread. I'm just upside down. Don't mind me. Alright. So, don't know if I want that pointing outwards, pointing down. I think I'll have it pointing outwards and the gauge is pointing up because I'll most likely be looking down at it from this angle. Spanner. Tighten that up. Alright. Now we get our hose. Just get a better view. There we go. Tighten that up. Nothing too drastic. Make sure they're nice and tight. Now, all these spares, I'm just going to consolidate them. And I'll put them in here with the spare drive wheel, and I'll pop them with the manual. And the one thing I forgot to put back was the drive wheel nut, so that doesn't come loose. So let's spin that around. And you see it. Alright, I'll pop that in there. That just holds the drive wheel from moving this way or that way. There we go. Alright. And the last piece of the puzzle is the earth strap or ground. This has either got to be set on positive or negative. So we're using gas, which means if you're running gas, you want the handle, or the gun, sorry, to be positive and the earth to be negative. So, can you see that, or is the bottle in the way? I'll just move the bottle for you. Alright, so the negative ones on this side here. It looks like you just pop that in and twist, and that's it. So the earth's hooked up. And the only other thing it says is when you're using gas, you want to make sure that the polarity switch terminal is set. So the polarity switch terminal, let's see if we can find where that is. Polarity switch terminal. Guessing it'll be inside here. Looks like it's this over here. I'll just get you up a bit. There you go. Alright, so that there is currently set for... It's different to the picture. Alright, so the picture shows 3, I guess, bolt holes in series, and ours is a triangle. But we do have a plus sign here next to that one, and there's actually a minus sign up next to that one. And they're telling us, well, they're not telling us what we need to set it to, they're just showing us the picture. Might have a bit of a further read in the manuals. Alright, so I just gave the guys at BossWeld, or DynaWeld, I think is the parent company, a call. And they're absolute champions. So they spoke to me straight away. The technician's name was Jason, really friendly. He explained that if I'm using gas, I want it set up on the positive like it is here. So that's for the gun. And then the earth down here is obviously going to be on the negative. Whatever this is set up for, the earth has to be the opposite. So for gas, it's positive and negative. And if we're going gasless, we would have this going up to the negative and the earth would be on positive. But basically he said, you can't stuff it up, it just won't work if it's the wrong way around, but you won't damage the machine. So if it doesn't work one way, try it the other way. And in looking at the manual, I actually noticed, the pictures aren't great, but you can actually see there is a minus there and a plus sign up there. So it does show you which is minus and plus. Same down here, you got the minus and the plus is up there. So anyway, this is set up for gasless, so we'll give it a go and see how shitty a welder I am.